Hey, this is Empress Zinga, and today for our Artist Peeps section, we're going to be talking to Rivenis. He is so eclectic, fantastic visual artist. What's going on?
Hey.
Could you tell me, first of all, what has been the response of your work? Because if people who don't know you see your work, they're not acquainted with it, they're going to be like, wait, boy, what's this here? Like, how has the response been?
Well, talking about the last few years, I think it's been really positive. People have been really open-minded, especially younger people, like younger kids, young adults. They've been interested in what I do. Some of them have been inspired to do artistic endeavors of their own, exploring what we can do in terms of fantasy and exploring psychology and all that sort of thing visually.
So in terms now of the pushback when you first began, was it really, really bad?
A lot of it occurred in school.
Okay.
Going to school, a lot of people just didn't like anything that was labeled, anything that could be seen as dark or demonic. People just had an issue with that, because if you were interested in those things, then something must be wrong with you. People have this weird disconnect, because horror movies are really popular.
Yeah.
And who do they think designs and directs and conceptualizes those same horror movies? More recently, although still not that recently, back when I used to work, I had a really Christian boss.
Okay.
He loved horror movies too, actually, but he wouldn't like certain symbols, or he would be afraid of certain things. So it was like kind of like, on one side he was open to the coolness of it, but it still made him uncomfortable, like if it went too far, that sort of thing. So it always feel like, oh, that's what you're doing is cool, but could you kind of cool it down a little bit? That sort of attitude. Growing up, a lot of times, I know a lot of people can relate to this. People just don't get you or understand where you're coming from. They just think you're disturbed. That's a word that I got a lot because of my interest and all that sort of thing. So since I've really broken out as an artist, I started my comic and stuff like that, I think I've been shielded a lot by any negativity, because I work at home. I make my work available online. My market is mainly overseas. So when I do encounter people locally, it's mostly positive. Maybe it's a shift in the times, and people are just become more open-minded to different forms of art, and they're looking at, a lot of people are very much into the technical skill of it. They recognize that, even if they don't like the subject matter.
Now, you've mentioned some work about your comic. I've seen some of it. I think it's fantastic work. Could you tell us a little bit more now, for those who might not be acquainted with your work, what your work is all about and what genres you're into?
Okay, the name of my comic is Diskordia, with a K, not a C. It's to sum it up very quickly, it's basically Alice in Wonderland in an H.P. Lovecraftian sort of world. So it's very much stream of consciousness, feels like going into dreams, dream logic, that sort of thing. But it does have a very strong narrative, even though it's very surreal, structured, with cogent, strong characters that could develop and evolve over the course of the series. And the main focus of it is basically to express everything that I have going on in here. It's a melding of the visual art that I think of and my storytelling, which is I think the ultimate output of what I do.
Now, when you say that you have an audience which is more international and you get most of your market from overseas, do you get the side eye of, yeah, but ain't really a Beijing thing, you ain't really supporting Beijing culture, that's our way? Have you ever received any response to that?
The funny thing is, I expected a lot more of that than I've actually gotten. Because I always looked at it, we were speaking earlier and I was saying how I've become more appreciative of local culture and all that sort of thing. So I find my background, a lot of my inspiration has been European, American, and that's what I brought to my comic. Going forward, I like to bring more things I actually know firsthand, put it into my comic and that sort of thing. I mean, if people are thinking that, then they haven't really come in and said anything to me. maybe people are just used to seeing stuff that is more Americanized or anything. Not that I would call my comic American. I would say it's more European.
So now I got to ask you about the Kickstarter thing that you had a couple weeks ago.
Hi, I'm Rivenis, and here we go again. Diskordia is an ongoing surreal fantasy webcomic series that catalogues a world full of strange, quirky characters and bizarre settings, where fanciful whimsy meets full-on cosmic horror. If you're planning to enter here, then be prepared to strap in and leave the shores of sanity far, far behind.
Is it still going on? And if so, how can we get to donate, know more about it?
Okay, this Kickstarter I did that ran from September 5th to October 5th. It was to fund the printing of the second book, as well as to clear up import fees for the first book. So I can basically get the first and the second book to everyone. The first book is both books. They're hardcovers that collect certain issues. Both of them together complete the first volume of the series. For anybody that's interested but missed the Kickstarter, I have pre-orders open. So when you go on the Kickstarter page, you can click on the link, and you can still order the books for the discounted Kickstarter prices. So you can be doing that all now. You can secure yourself a copy when I finally do ship them.
All right, now tell me more about how it is now as an artist in terms of conceptualizing your art. How do you find the time to do all of this? How does it work for you?
Well, it took a good while to really get a routine, to get everything down. Because before I started doing the comics, I've been avoiding actually seriously doing a comic for years because I always thought it would be way too much work. Okay. It's not practical. I'm never going to be able to finish it. So
Why not?
Well, because a lot of the time, it's hard to maintain interest in something without getting new ideas and trying to move on to something else. It's also hard to really stick with a project. It's just hard to imagine a project that big. But in the end of the day, I was unhappy just writing or just painting. So I felt I really needed to do both of them. And then the more you get into it, the more I started to develop methodology to speed things up. Because that's really the key to it. I mean, besides being obsessed and insane, which you need the obsession to really keep at it, because you can't be doing it for fans, you can't be doing it for fame, you can't be doing it for money for sure. You have to be doing it because you really, really love doing it. So with comics, that's just the way I could get to really tell the story I wanted to tell. And about the wavering interest thing, Diskordia is perfect for me for that because I specifically create it as a vehicle where I can tell any kind of story I feel like.
Yeah.
So if I want to change, if I feel like doing a science fiction story, I can fit it in. If I want to do a horror story, I can fit that in. I can do a noir detective story. And all those are in the comic, by the way.
Yeah.
There's 17 issues out so far, and I'm just having a blast with it.
17 issues is so much. I didn't know that you had that amount of work. I knew it was a lot, but I didn't know that in terms of issues with books that there have been so many. Have you started a new book as yet, now that you've coming off the Kickstarter?
Actually, I'm in the process of making issue 18 now. The pencils are done, but it's going to be a while because I still have to do the extra exclusive story that's just for the print books.
Okay.
That's going to be a little mini story that will just be a bonus for people who purchase the print edition.
Nice. Right.
So I'm working on that. And then I also got to work with doing the Kickstarter, getting that all out. That's going to be a lot of work. But the hardest part of the new issue is already done. The story, the conceptualizing, and all the pencils.
Now my final question, I always drop this at the end for all of my interviews, my legacy question. And it's more of, what is it that you, as an artist, want to be remembered for? What is it that you want to leave behind?
Well, the obvious thing is my comics for people to read, but also the message behind them, which it's a very simple message. It's just to encourage people to explore their realities, their worlds, to just think about what it means to be human, what it means to exist. Because those are the questions I kind of delve into. The best philosophy is about posing questions. It's not about giving answers. It's not about saying, oh, this is what it is, that's what it is. No, it's about getting you to wonder about things. Like, basically producing a sense of wonder in whoever reads my wonder. That's what I want to do. I just want to spread wonder like a disease.
Spread wonder like a disease.
Yes.
I like that as well. You're so artistic.
Thank you.
Guys, this is Rivenis. This is a fantastic visual artist. If you have not heard of him, please go and check him out on social networking sites. By the way, which are those social networking sites?
Well, there's the comic itself, which is Diskordiacomic.com. I also have a portfolio site, Rivenis.com.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm basically just Rivenis on all of those. There's the Diskordia Facebook page. There are probably a bunch I'm forgetting as well. I'm probably gonna do another page just for the publishing side of things. But for now, everything's on Rivenis. And for any that I forgot, just Google Rivenis.
So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go and we're gonna support the artist. Don't forget, go and check out the Kickstarter program that he has up. It might be over, but you can still go on and donate something, and you could get some fantastic volumes of comics. I didn't even know was in here, but it's fantastic to read. Go and support some artists. And you know what? We're gonna see you somewhere, sometime soon.